Hello, everyone. It's Fred again from Notes of a Nomad, video number 318. Today, I want to talk about fear, stress, anxiety, depression. There's so many pressure on us in the world today that a lot of people are suffering it from all ages. We had a recent meeting where one of the young girls who's 14 and she's in Nepal studying for exams, 8 hours a day after school, etc. And it's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. It brings me memory of when I was studying in South Africa for some very tough exams. I was working hard at work and then studying. I got up one morning, supposed to go to my exam, and I was vomiting and I ended up in hospital. And I thought I had a burst peptic ulcer and they were going to have to operate on me. Fortunately, it took an X-ray. And the X-ray found it wasn't that. Subsequently discovered it was stress. And by exercise is what solved it. It took me a long time to find the solution. The doctor wasn't much help. He didn't recommend it, but fortunately, and I believe in exercise now throughout my life. That was probably the thing that really prompted it to me when I discovered that, the impact it had on me. But that impacts people in a different way. And this happens throughout life. It's not a sign of weakness. It's just a sign of being human. But how can we cope with that? Now, Marcia mentioned a lot of things that we could be doing as well. So let me share a few things about this that I have um, on my screen. The fear, the depression, the worry. As I said, it is normal. And there's a lot of impact it has on us. We feel pain and we feel tension. Maybe we're panicking. We have phobia. We can be antisocial. So it can really, really impact us if we're not careful. But some of the things we can do is, for example, breathing exercises. Now, if you Google all of this stuff, you'll find hundreds of different techniques, but what works for one doesn't always work for the other. So search out one or two things, just try it slowly. You're not going to try deep breathing and exercise, and I'm going to start journaling and I'm going to change my diet. But all of those things, just small baby steps. Look at your diet. Maybe you're drinking too much coffee or having too much sugar. Depends but what will work, but slowly make some changes and see if it has improved. Of course, I found exercise helped me, and I believe that's a great technique. But there are other things you can do. Journaling was a great example that Marcia mentioned, because when you take those thoughts and write them down and say, okay, I'm going to handle that, you get rid of it out of your mind. So journaling, that way of doing that can have a positive impact. So stay active and socializing with other people, maybe discuss it with them. Like-minded people also, when you exercise, say, oh, I don't know, I'm not a good exerciser. But if there's something that you find that you'd like to do, find some like-minded people, and it really makes a difference because you can share your experiences and discuss what you're doing, and that helps a lot. So, but these are baby steps. It's not as if you're going to do all this all at once. You can just take your time, find a couple steps. There are many ways. And if you Google it, I looked at it over, there's over 100 and something ways to cope. Well, you're not going to do 100 and something ways. Just find one or two slowly and surely. But as I said earlier, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of how we can cope. And this is just being human. There's a lot of good ways that can help us. Avoid the bad ones, like maybe alcohol is not a good way. It's a way of coping, but it's not a good way of coping. So avoid those bad ways. Find some good baby steps, and it can help us cope with the world that we're living in, where there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt that we have every day. But there's a lot of good things that are happening too. So with that, I will say adios, au revoir, wishing you, your family, and friends lots of love and laughter, and hope you can cope with all of this changes that are happening in the world that may be impacting you and your family and friends. Together we can make the world a better place. So au revoir, bye for now from Fred and Notes of a Nomad.